want to talk about personal development of the subject that I started listening to age 25 that revolutionized my whole life. From my mentor, Mr. Earl Schaff. Here is an interesting subject, just jot it down. It's called enlightened self-interest. It is a fascinating study to study the idea of self-interest, but just make this note, all of us have self-interest. The key is to be enlightened so that everybody wins and no one loses. Our first interest is to survive, but what does it take to survive? One second interest is to succeed. What does it take to succeed? What does it take for me personally to survive and to succeed? Can I legitimately be interested enough in the thing that helped me both succeed and survive? And here's what I discovered. The answer is yes. It is possible to exercise self-interest, but to do it in such a way that no one loses. Everyone benefits. Key phrase: life was not designed to give us what we need. Life was designed to give us what we deserve. We didn't reap the harvest in the fall because we need it. We reap a harvest in the fall because we deserve it. Not necessarily from a moral standpoint, of course. There are some moral laws as well, spiritual and moral laws. But just the basic laws that simply say, if you wish to reap, you must plant. So jot this down. Reaping is reserved for the planters, and the reason they reap is because they deserve it. They're the planters. They deserve to reap. Interesting Bible phrase. It says, if you keep knocking, you will find open doors. Good phrase to jot down. If you keep knocking, you will find open doors. Doors of opportunity. Doors of a chance to meet someone. Doors open for association. Doors open to find someone special. Doors open to find a unique business colleague. If you keep knocking the door, the phrase says, doors of opportunity are open to those who continually knock. So we don't find open doors of opportunity because we need them. We find them because we deserve them. Only those who knocks deserve to find an open door. But the promise is, if you continually knock, you will find doors of opportunity. It says, if you search, you will find. So make the note. It's good. Finding is reserved for the searchers because they deserve it. Now, at first, they may have needed it, but they now know that just needing is not sufficient. But if they need it now, they must qualify for it. The reason why you're gonna be blessed with good ideas this weekend is because you've come searching. You've gotten on an airplane to come searching. Got on your automobile to come searching. You got here searching. Now you're ready to receive. And for those who search, they will find answers, they will find plans, imagination, to stir yourself into action for future benefits. So, if you search to find good idea, you must go looking, go searching. You've got to go to church, you've got to go to class, you've got to go to the seminary, you've got to go to the library, you've got to go to the books. If you wish to find, rarely does a good idea interrupt you. Rarely, but if you will search, you will find. So, we get notes, what we need, but we get what we deserve. It says, if you ask, someone has an answer. If you keep asking, the answer belongs to you. Because by virtue of asking, you have qualified. So, we do not get what we need, we get what we deserve. The mother on welfare should be taught in some small manner that hopefully she can begin deserving the welfare check. Not getting it because she needs it, but now starting to get it because she deserves it. If the welfare worker says to Mary, I've brought a bucket of paint, a paintbrush, and the next time I come, if you paint the door and fence here in front, I give you the check for $450. Not that painting the door and painting the fence is worth $440. It's not worth that much, but it is beginning of the process. So make that note. Want to begin the process of deserving. Why would that be? What process should I begin engaging to? To deserve good health, to deserve a good relationship, to deserve prosperity, to deserve an enterprise, to deserve the opportunity to build a city. What must I do? Begin the process of deserving. Now the welfare worker come back and the door is painted and the fence in front is painted. And now Mary gets the $450 to help take care of the children. Not because she needs it, but because she's beginning to deserve it. Then the welfare worker think of some other project. She said, Mary, if these weeds are gone and this little garden is cultivated, when I come back, now the door is painted and the fence is painted. If the weeds are gone and this little little garden is cultivated, you get the $450. And step by step, a new life is emerging, learning the process of deserving. It is not just needing it. We teach our children at home, right? Child says, I need $10. So the language doesn't work here. Here's the plenty of money. And the vaults are full, but to say I need $10 is not how we open the vault. So the child says, what? Wow, how can I get that $10 that I need? So here's what they learn to say. How can I earn $10? Now the vault opens up. Now the money starts to flow. How could I earn $10? What could I do to earn the money? Not to get the money. You need it. Maybe you need the money. That's all us have needs here. The key is to figure out how to open the vault, how to open the bank, how to open the unbelievable flow of resources that come our way. And here is the key. Deserve it, not to need it. You cannot walk out to the field and say to the field, I need a crop. Here is what the field says. Here is what the ground says. Who is the clown that brings me his needs, that brings me no seed? So jot this down. Take your seeds to the marketplace, not your needs. Do not disclose your need to the marketplace, only to your willingness, because the marketplace is not interested in your needs, but they're interested in your seeds. They're interested in your willingness to work. They're interested in your disciplines. They're interested in your eagerness. They're interested in your vitality and your work ethic. That's what the marketplace is interested in, not your hit, but your seed, okay? We get what we deserve. Old Testament God says, if you'll move forward me, I'll move towards you. See, that's how you get those occasions. To meet God, you must make a move. God could say, you don't move, I don't move. You say, well, that's arbitrary. Well, when you're God, you can make it that way. So the law says, if you wish to receive, now let me talk about enlightened self-interest. If you wish to receive, we would call the wish to receive self-interest, but it is if it is enlightened self-interest. Here is what it says. I understand that in order to receive it, I must give. Receiving is reserved for those who give. Receiving is nothing reserved for those who needs it. It is reserved for those who deserve it. We deserve the receiving by giving. Counter, why would it be better to give than it's to receive? So let me give you one of the better phrases for today. Here it is. Giving starts the receiving process. So of course, it's better to give than it's to receive. How much receiving do you wish? You must start the giving process for me to receive my additional fortune for the future, not necessarily for the money. Because I don't need the money. I take the money, but I don't need the money. But here is what I do need for someone to say. A year from now, 5 years from now, Mr. Rohn, that seminar helped me to change my life. And for whatever reason, I was brought here to this place for this time and little. Somebody says that, see, to receive that kind of thing, it's unbelievable. Here is what we cannot buy, that kind of thing. We cannot buy it by money. We have to earn it. Now, that's called the law of riches and wealth. It's our own self-interest. If we wish to be rich and wealthy and prosperous and healthy and all those valuable things we can think of for the human experience, how could we get there? It is understanding the law of enlightened self-interest in the law of deserving. The question was asked in the Bible, how can we be great? What is the key to greatness? Great wealth, great riches, great accolades, trophies to put on the mantle above the fireplace. How can we get great respect, great riches, great abundance for ourselves? How can we get that? And the answer was given. And here was the answer. Find a way to serve. Find a way to serve the many. So I paraphrase it to the read, the service to many leads to greatness. Service to many leads to greatness. Someone says, well, about the best I can do to take care of myself, then that's okay. Self-care, has its own reward, but it's very limited. Somebody says I cannot be worried about other people's problem. I got enough problems on my own. That's okay. Self-defense is okay. Self-preservation is okay, but it has very limited reward if you wish to change that into abundance and prosperity and uniqueness. Then here's what we must do. Help solve other people's problem. Help find answer for someone's life problem, not just for yourself, but for someone else. And in that kind of service, you need to begin the process of greatness. Someone asked the question, how can I be ruler over many? How could I manage a lot of things and people? How could it be to be a leader of vast movement or an enterprise? Here was the answer. Nothing more, nothing wrong with that wish. We call that self-interest of the highest kind, wishing to be a manager. The role wishing to be presiding over many people. Here is what the answer. Be faithful when the amounts are small. Be faithful when there is just a few. Be disciplined when there is only few. Desire to entire you to somebody be ruler over many. You say, well, if I had a big organization, I would really run it with strong hand and I'd be with fabulous leaders. But I've only got a few and I don't know where they are. Let's see, that's not gonna work. If you wish to preside over riches, you must start when the amounts are small. Someone says, oh, if you had a fortune, I would really take care of it. But I've only got a paycheck. I don't know where it goes. See, not knowing where it goes disqualifies you now for presiding over many people. We've all heard the right. I don't know where it all goes. Do you ever heard the expression, oh, would love to have you run my company? We don't know where it all goes. Somebody says it's just gets away from me. Oh, would love to have you run the world, right? It just gets away from you. Somebody says it's only pennies and it's only few. Here is where you begin to qualify abundance and riches and greatness and respect it with the discipline when the amounts are small. Someone finds it unique, right? That this many people would come here. What I've got to say for a whole weekend, but this is not where I started. I started with just a few, but I was so on fire with just a few trying to translate for them in many awkward ways back then. What had happened to me, my life got changed, my income got changed, my health got changed. Everything got changed for the better. And now I've lived the most extraordinary life, but I started with my passion for just few to translate for just a few. Someone says, well, there is just a few here, Does this meaning matter when there is only few? And the answer is yes. Jot this down. You never know who is in the audience, whether it's a few or 1,000 or whether, but you've got to be faithful when there is just a few. Tell your story when there is just a few. Be just passionate about ideas that can change someone's life when there is just a few. Now you begin. You're not fully qualified, but you begin the qualification to somebody speaks to many. Somebody presides over a vast crowd. Somebody, the manager and the header of millions. It starts in those early days to deserve it. Now, jot this down also. Give yourself a chance to change some things. I hit onto that. I thought this was it. This was it. I'm telling you, after a while, I gave it up. Found out it wasn't it. So give yourself a chance to change. Refine your philosophy, refine your direction. If you will give yourself a chance to do that, here is what will happen down the road. The new door will open to you that you haven't discovered before. Give yourself a chance to change. Revaluable. So let your library be a testimonial of your dedicated interest in accelerated personal development. Then you will read whatever you have to read. You will hear whatever you must hear. And you will watch and see whatever you must see in order to make your life refined and worthwhile and achieve all your purpose. That's what I want this stopping station to be these 3 days. Just to come here and sit for a while and listen and ponder and take notes and work hard and see if you cannot absorb, get all that you possibly can hear, so it will start to refine your life even before you got on an airplane and fly back and whatever came from before you get in your car and drive away. What we share with you here, with what? All of the rest that you've learned. This will be a catalyst to start the process even before you get home that will start working for you. Some of you are going to get some goals. We're gonna do the workshop tomorrow, designing the next 10 years. Hopefully, we'll come up with some new promises, some new objectives, some new ideas. And by the time we're finished here, these 2 or 3 days, I'm telling you, you will see yourself able to accomplish 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more than you ever thought was possible, which will make this cost of seminar small price to pay. And hopefully, it'll make the time to spend here small price and pay compared to making this an investment in your future, in what will flow in terms of money and income and return and reward and respect and dignity and accolades and trophies, all the stuff that can be yours. A marriage that lasts forever, a friendship that nourishes you forever, things that will find that you will keep and effort to them. It takes a lot of effort to grow. It takes a lot of effort to decide and debate. But jot this down. It's all worth the price. Whatever stimulates you to think, whatever stimulates you to wonder, whatever stimulates to react or even to debate. Even if you hear something, you say, well, that's not right. See, that's still valuable. It means you're awake. It means you're alert. It means you're alive. It means your mind is ready to take on something. Whatever it's agreeable or not agreeable. Something right, something wrong. Who cares what it is? We've got to listen to a variety of voices, and some are going to come from the left, and some are going to come from the right, and some are going to come from the mysterious sources, and some will try to entice you with all kind of stuff. But that's okay. Just so you're alive and alert and awake. awake, ready to process anything that comes your way. Take the best of it and make it beneficial for you so that tomorrow you walk with a stronger step. Next month, you see a cleaner vision, and a month from now, the purpose for your life has multiplied by 2 or 3 and 5. As you study, as you grow, and as you take notes, and as you fill up your journal, then try to work on the ideas to make yourself valuable in the marketplace. Here is something to remember under personal development, some things I had to learn. First, steps to success. First of all, you need good ideas. Just decide right now. You're gonna accelerate your plan for collecting good ideas. Ideas for your life, ideas for your health, ideas for your marriage, your relationship, ideas, and stimulates. One idea sometimes leads to the next, needs to be next. The 4 and 5 ideas in the future that really thrust acceleration into your life and couldn't have gotten unless you went through the first one and the second one and the third one. Next, you need good plans. You need good health plan. Traveling around the world, you can imagine the health plan I have to have. If I didn't have a superb extreme, got to underline the word extreme. If I didn't have a superb extreme health plan, do you think I could travel all over the world? People look at my calendar and says impossible. It's the only one that can I do it. Everyone else is too young. Incredible, but I've got to be extremely, I cannot let up at all terms of diet and nutrition, exercise. All that stuff in order to stay healthy. A good health plan, a good family plan. Here's a good one. A good marriage plan. Some people just go along married with their finger crossed. You gotta have a better plan than that. Some are whistling in the dark hoping everything will work out. Not a good plan. You need a good plan for how to use the day. Best kept secret of the rich. How to use your time. A good plan to meet the right people over the right amount of time to stimulate your life. You need a game plan for lifestyle. You will talk about the later to succeed. We need good ideas and good plans. Here's the next. We have to learn to handle the pressing of time, because all that time to learn, to grow, to change. Going through the seasons takes time. The spring has a certain amount of time. The summer has time. The harvest has time. The winter has time. Learning to handle the passing of time. Jot this down. If you're involved in business, you've gotta give you project time. You gotta give your people time. Give your people chance to learn, chance to grow, chance to change. One of the great requirements, especially in such an industrialized, busy, mud dashing society, and that's to have people patience. First, we exercise it with our children and our family. Getting people to work together. Got to have patience, even with your family. If you're involved with independent people, it's challenge. It's like herding cats, trying to get them to work together. Herding sheep is easy. They very quickly get going to the same direction. They try herding cats. It's like your children, different ages and different personalities and different opinions. To get the family all going the same direction, working together to make things work. I'm telling you, it's a challenge, but if you will have some patience, you can do it. Now here's a big one. To have patience with yourself, give yourself time to learn, give yourself time to understand good ideas, give yourself time to make changes, and then grow into those challenges and changes. Give yourself time to refine your personality to fit the business, whatever business you are engaged in. Some may have to speak up a little stronger, and some may have to calm down just a little bit more. They learn to refine your personality and your temperament to suit. All of us can do that, but it takes time. Have patience with yourself. We had to do that from the beginning, learning to tie the shoestrings of your shoes. If you tried a couple of times, I'll answer, learn this, it's over, say no. You cannot go through life with your shoes united. Come on, maybe it happens for them a little quicker than others. Some people get the hang of it almost overnight. Someone else, it takes a little longer. If it takes you a little longer, have patience with yourself, because patience has its own reward. Patience, it's a virtue of the extraordinary kind. We have to have patience with our employers. We have to have patience with government officials. We have to have patience with IRS. We have to have patience with the army. We've got to have patience with the FBI. Here is a good thing to remember while you're exercising patience. Usually enough good people will finally make it right. You just got to jot this down. Usually enough good people will finally make it right. Not everyone in the community is going to toe the line and do the moral thing. But let me tell you what, most well, that's how we create a society that we can live in. Most well, every teenager will not obey all the rules and regulations and live a model life. Not everyone will, but jot this down, most well, enough well. When the God Lord recorded 12, not every despile, not every one one of the 12, but it was enough to start a movement that lasted for 2,000 years. Not everyone, but enough will. There has only been a couple of exceptions to this rule. One was the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. God was gonna destroy Sodom and Gomorrah for their evil ways. Abraham had friends that lived there, and Abraham implored and said, God, if I can go to Sodom and Gomorrah and find 50 righteous people, will you spare the city? God said, Abraham, you've been such an excellent friend of mine. Yes, I'll spare the city if you can find 50. So he searches the city, couldn't find 50 good people, comes back and says, Lord, would you take 40? God says, Abraham, for you, come on, I'll do that. If you find 40, so he reaches the 40, cannot find 40, and he comes back, says, would you take 30? God, Lord says, Abraham, only for you will it reduces to 30. Can find 30, can find 20. Abraham said, this is my last request. Would you take 20? God said, only for the Abraham. So he went searching for the 20, and you know the story, couldn't find 10. That's the exception to the rule, he said. Abraham, got your friend Lot and his family out of there because the end has come. But the exception to the rule, so just the general rule, must will in civilized society must will obey the rules in government most will. Not every senator will, but enough will to build a stable government in the future. Not everyone in the armed forces will, but enough will. Not everyone in the community will, but enough will. Not everyone teenager in the high school will, but enough will. And I'm telling you, the most will. That's how we survive in a civilized society, because most will. That's good feeling to know, most will. Okay, so we have patience. Next, under personal development is learning to solve problem. By the way, having patience with the season takes time to develop the crop. You cannot plant the seed, the ground in a few days, saying, where is it? Where is it? You cannot really help. All you can do is nourish. Some people plant in the spring, leave the summer. Just usually got the patience to last. Next comes solving problem, business problem, family, money problem, personal problems, financial problems, emotional problems. There is all kinds. Here is a good idea I found in solving problem. Every once in a while, you've got to. I haven't got it here, but I can just describe it for you. Take a piece of paper, put a line down the center of the paper, and on the left side, describe the problem. Just jot this down. A piece of paper in the left side. Describe the problem. Sometimes it's a good idea to take a problem out of your head and put it on the paper. This is one of the ways to think on paper. Our mind usually is too busy sometimes to sort things out. If you take it out of your mind, put it on paper. What's the problem? You just describe the best of your ability. What's the problem? And then ask the question, is that all of it? Because if you're gonna prescribe something for the problem, you need to know what all of it is. When you got it all listed on the other side of the paper, it's called answer and solution. The problem on one side, answer and solution on the other side. Now let me give you three questions that help solve most many problems, and here are some questions. Number one, what could I do? Just jot this down. Why could I do? Then you start developing what you call working papers. The working papers consist of making a list of things you could do to solve the problem. Number one, and you say, well, number one would take too long. I can see that right now. Let's go to number two. Maybe that's the answer. Number three, no, it isn't. Let's say you've got several points and you've done your best to try to solve the problem yourself, and you cannot solve it yourself. There is a second question. Why could I read? Maybe somebody spent a lifetime researching the problem you've got, and they've got some excellent answer from the lifetime research. Maybe in your own journal, you're taking notes before on something. You say, I remember a class took. Seems like there were some answers here, so we go back and little research. So under number two is research. And if you search, what you will find? And if you search, you will find. Search and search. Now search as soon as possible, because if the problem is severe, you don't want to wait till too late. My friend Kenny comes to me and says he just lost a beautiful lady, a fabulous lady. They got divorced. She was really something. Then after his divorce, he comes to me and says it's over. But he says sometimes something strange. He said, I found the book in my own library that I think would have saved my marriage if I read it before my divorce. And it was a book entitled How to Live with Another Person Who Left. I should have read the book long time ago. He finally read it, but it was late a little bit. It's like reading a book on the nutrition after you've had a heart attack, right? That's good. But gosh, it's too much better to read it before. Spare yourself the agony and the last time, and maybe the last of your life. Now, if you try to solve it yourself and you cannot solve it, you research and it doesn't seem like you've got the answer. Here's number 3. Third question is, who could I ask? Is there someone around me that might have the answer to my problem? Now, under that, put this. Do not ask first now. Try to solve it yourself. Develop some working papers. What you think you might do that still isn't it. Here are some books I've read. This guy's crazy. This guy no answer. Haven't got it. Now, I ask. But if you now can show your working papers to who you ask, you cannot believe how swift the answer will come. All of us have heard this, but let's remind ourselves on more time and put in your notes. We all have to help people who, first of all, trying to help themselves. Back to philosophy of deserve. I've tried to work it out. Haven't got the answer. Maybe you can help me. Somebody is very willing to help you if they know you've tried first to help yourself. It works that way with your children. My daughter Linda, before she got married, used to travel a lot. She came to me and said, "Daddy, I'm headed to Thailand." I said, "Wonderful." She said, "I saved up my money." I said, "Fantastic." I said, "I've got 100,000." I said, "Wonderful." She said the kids wanted to go here, wanted to go there. I didn't go. They wanted to buy this, wanted to buy that. I didn't buy. I got my money put aside, $1,000. I said, "Linda, unbelievable. You must be my daughter. That's a fantastic now," she said, "to make the trip. I only got a couple of money. An easy 2,000, right?" But she knows she couldn't get the whole 3. But she know that if she worked hard to the best of her ability and put the first 1,000 together, she next 2 was easy, right? Okay, develop your working papers. Do your best to solve problem. Here's why you try to solve it on your paper first. You need the mental and emotional muscle. You need the discipline. If you just quickly go to the answer, somebody that's got it. Now, you're not developing the muscle. You're not developing the discipline to solve your problem because there are many come a day when there is no one else to ask. You need the rhythm of learning, the rhythm of trying, the rhythm of seeing if you can do it first to build emotional, mental muscle.